Week 28, welcome to Founder Log. This one's on system refinement. So just tethering that to system and design process or process design. It's gonna sound pretty engineering, it's just financier, whatever the hell, just like, okay, this is how I want to build something, and connecting the blocks is the way of trying to work it. And so starting out, you have something in an unrefined state. Obviously, I don't have any mentor, or I've had some throughout college, but like not so on a heavy basis where you just call up somebody immediately. But this all kind of spiraled out of the thought of, you know, sometimes I have an idea, but I don't really act on it or instinctively. Like it's weird. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like you have this idea, this thought, but engaging with it or trying to put it into action immediately, that is the core that I'm trying to figure out how to not turn this knob over to the left, because it's not, I'm not content with it. And I know I could be a more refined person, um talent, whatever, founder, um than keeping this, I don't want to say concise, but it's like optimizing for, I want to say efficiency, but effectiveness, maybe both competence and efficiency, or some type of level of that. So you're coming at things from an unrefined state, and in this case, I want to have a mentor. I've been wanting to have a mentor. I think there's a way to design that right now, or I think the argument I have is more so like, um my friends, colleagues, former professors, and people in my life, they work more like a console, console, right? You're some head of state or whatever, and you have all these advisors, and while it's beneficial, it's like I want a specific personality or whatever. I want some career established person in the industry that I want to go into, or in order to build up a business kind of deal like I'm doing now, where it's just like, all right, I know exactly what I want, but I don't know how to get it. How do I go about that? And reverse engineering that in a sense. So I think like there's some website that I found going through a bunch of my old I don't know, papers, old college papers and stuff. Just found it along in, mixed in there. So it's like, okay, there's a site for what do you call it? Like college, not college, excuse me. Um, Houston Cougars to network, find jobs, whatever. I don't know if it's a job board or what, but it's like, okay, this thing might work. But what else? Obviously, LinkedIn might work. Um, as corny as that feels to say, um, maybe some type of presence, you get discovery, and I guess just what, refining your own talent in a way. But that tethers into other stuff that I already talked about, or I'm talking about anyway. So you have this, but then how about behaviors and hobbies, right? So obviously I want to get into X, Y, and Z. So for this case, I guess subpoints would be diving, what's it called? Like maybe not ballistics, but in a sense, right? That type of arena, um, poker as well, and I think, at least for now, I'm gonna just use these three examples. Well, obviously, I should probably be going gun ranges. Um, get it? What is that one? The I am forgetting the certification. You get that cert, whatever that cert is for diving, and obviously go to poker halls. Uh, okay, now when it comes to other stuff, obviously becoming aware, right? So I think on the other end of things, so I'm gonna just fork this, awareness, and what, willingness to address. and that should make that happen, right? So I don't know, let's say you want to be more punctual or you want to have a better design philosophy. Just tether it back in. Um, better approach to systems or systems design. You have to look at it. You have to be able to crank it, turn the dials, turn the knobs. Are you willing to knock it down and refine it? Are you willing to maybe take it apart and then figure out what in the world is going on? Where are you going wrong? And moving forward with that, right? These behaviors, these activities also tether into like obviously the trading activity, investing activity. Um, you have this product that you're trading. In my case, it's yen. Um, and certain times with certain different products that I want to trade along it, right? This universe of product. Um, when I size up, and this will work down here below as well. When I want to scale up, I blow off my legs, and this is not beneficial. And it's like whenever you see results, maintain the system. I think it's more so like don't adjust, don't adapt. I think it's about this too, like survival, right? The whole thing is about the skirmisher kind of attitude, and so it's like okay, so this process obviously is working, but needs to be redesigned. Where hey, I'm not sizing this appropriately. And this is like specifically on the event side of things. And maybe it'll work better. And maybe you should be working within certain other probabilities. And so just obviously tethering the awareness back into this where this is feeding into that, which is feeding into that. So it's like the whole thing just kind of tethers itself. Um, there's no way I'm gonna, so I'm just gonna boop. And then, from here, obviously, it goes back here, and then the whole thing repeats. Whoa, the whole thing repeats. So, obviously, the whole thing that triggered this thought was I want to cut down on time between the process. I want my thought to turn into action ASAP because I think it's better to fail fast than fail slowly. I don't want something to be dragged out for years not working. I don't know, 2030. And obviously, I don't want the thing to blow up. I don't want anything to go wrong. Um, I'd rather tether everything towards this direction. However, obviously, there's more things at play, and obviously, life or career might get in the way. And obviously, this will stay a hobby or pet project, or everything adjusts. And so, that instinctive, intuitive kind of viewpoint where it's like, okay, something's wrong. This is wrong. How do I make it right? And that's it. As corny as that sounds, bye.